world! I've basically started saying that at the start of every video now.
Hello world!
Hello world!
Hello world, I am the poor graduate, living at home for the foreseeable future. So over the last few videos, I've developed a kind of overarching theme of talking about aspects of my life, and that tends to bring up topics that can be debated over to an extent. And I like the idea of encouraging anybody who watches these videos to tell me what they think about those subjects that I bring up. So, continuing this theme, and following on from my last video on sport and my lack of interest in that subject, I want to bring up something that is a deep passion of mine. Drama! Drama is my main hobby. Because, honestly, what else are you meant to do when the idea of using your feet to put anything anywhere is just something that your brain can't seem to comprehend? I just love the idea of being able to stand up in front of people and entertain them. I've been interested in it as long as I can remember, from primary school to university. First and foremost, I enjoy acting, but I have dabbled in directing here and there. And I've also started to notice that over the course of my acting career, if you like, I've been typecast in various specific niches of roles. During primary school, when I first started to get interested in drama, I tended to get given the parts that required me to do accents. I don't know, maybe because I'm just a natural mimic. Not always a good thing. It got to the point that by the time I'd finished school, I'd played characters with accents from nearly every single country in Europe. French, Spanish, German, Australian, Klingon. Now obviously your skills develop over time, so when you move schools, you kind of have to get used to getting the smaller parts again, because obviously the plays are of a higher calibre than you're used to. But if in the lower years you're patient and do your time as third bloke from the left, then in sixth form you could be Hamlet. I may have had a little bit of an advantage because I was a member of a youth theatre that was run by one of the English teachers at my school who organised all of the school plays, but that's just our little secret. So in secondary school, after I worked my way up, and up came the typecast again, I suddenly started getting typecast in villain roles. I like to think that I'm a nice guy, right? But I've got to admit one thing, villains are bloody fun to play. When I was in sixth form, I got cast in the role of Judge Turpin in Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. And no one was more surprised by this than I can assure you. Not only is he the villain of the play, but it's also a musical, so he has to sing. Yep. It was still a bloody fun role, though. It was also interesting because one of my best mates had been cast in the role of Sweeney himself. Enemies on stage, friends off stage. I like that. Now obviously when you do live performances, things do go wrong. And this play has a prime example of where things went wrong for me.
Spoiler alert!
Near the end of Sweeney Todd, Judge Turpin gets his throat slit by Sweeney himself and then tumbles down into Sweeney's dungeon where he gets made into meat pies. The way we handled the fake blood was quite simple. We took a Capri Sun bag, filled it with fake blood, taped it to my back with duct tape, and had a tube running from the top of the bag around my back and poking out at my neck here. When the time came to have my throat slit, all Sweeney had to do was push me into the back of the chair, thereby applying pressure to the bag on my back and releasing the contents for all to see in gory detail. First two nights, great and effective. But on the last night, my bag got overfilled, to the point where when I went up on stage, all I had to do was sit down in order for the bag contents to go all over my shirt. So the audience were naturally confused as to why Judge Turpin suddenly started bleeding for no apparent reason in the middle of a song. Still, not as bad as when someone forgets their lines in a Shakespeare production. Don't attempt to improvise Shakespeare. It doesn't work. My last typecast came when I joined the Newcastle University Theatre Society, or NUTS for short. Once I'd played the likes of Lord Caversham in An Ideal Husband by Oscar Wilde, and Colonel Pickering in Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw, I started to wonder whether I'd gotten typecast again. Posh English gents? Me? No, I honestly don't. I mean, I honestly can't think why. No, I really can't. But yes, acting in drama productions has been a large part of my life. I have dabbled in voiceover work and directing here and there, but those are topics for another time. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy drama yourself, why not tell me about your own dramatic experiences? As always, check out my friend Hattie Patch's channel, the links are in my previous videos, and if anybody has any suggestions for any topics that they'd like me to talk about, then please leave them in the comments and I would be more than happy to discuss them. So remember, don't be a drama queen unless you enjoy it. Stubblington out.